We're here in Hatton Health and Fitness Gym. Ricky, you're a familiar sight here, but it's not so often we have this Hall of Famer alongside you as well. So you never know who you get in a Hatton gym, do you, Mr. Freddie Roach?
No, absolutely brilliant. It makes me feel very, well, obviously, you know, Freddie's got the relationship with Scott now, but it makes me feel proud whenever any of the fighters, or the, you know, or in this case, you know, the trainers such as Freddy, whenever they're in Manchester, either, you know, at a boxing show at the Manchester Arena or doing a sportsman dinner where they're speaking, they're all going to come. They come and see me. It makes me feel very, very proud, and the fact that, you know, Scott and Freddie want to come down and use the gym before they head up to London makes me feel very, very, very proud. And obviously, I feel very proud that I had made a little bit of input into Scott's career when I promoted him early in the days, and now it's good to see him progressing the way he is, and you know, what better to be under a man such as Freddie.
He's warming up nicely there in the background, Freddie, but you've been working a little while with Scott. I know you were well aware of him before with Joe taking his team out there to the wild card, but what have you been doing with him now? What's the plan with Scott?
You know, working on combinations, boxing a little bit more, just not trying to go out there and knock guys out, looking for the knockout and get them setting things up a little bit better, and he's doing really well, and he had great sparring, and that's one thing about being at my gym. The sparring is really good there, and you know, we work with a couple of really good fighters. One was rated number 2 in the world, and one was number 5 in the world, and at 130 and 135, and they worked out really well. And he's in great shape. I mean, he's ready to go. We're on a big show, and we want to steal it.
Scott, do you have to lock the gym doors with this fellow, because he likes to train, doesn't he?
He does. He loves to train, and it's great to be here. I mean, when he told me to come into this gym, I was all excited because I haven't seen my friend in a little bit, and I've actually never been in this gym before. And I remember last time I was in Bolton quite a bit with Mayor Khan, and that ended. But it's funny because about 2 weeks ago he asked me if he could train in my gym, and I said, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I mean, I don't have hard feelings with anybody. Yeah, it's just like it's easier just to be friends with people.
Well, yeah, and this gym's had Muhammad Ali as well. Remember?
No, I mean.
That's a great thing. I mean, they have Muhammad Ali, because I was sitting in about 6 months after I opened my gym, I was sitting in the front desk, and I was just opening it up, and I used to vacuum in the gym back then and clean the toilets. And so, but starting out, it was a little rough. But and then one day, Muhammad Ali walked to my doors and says, "Can I train here?" I looked around and I said, "Oh, jeez." I said, "Yeah, his restroom's over there." And he went and got dressed and came out. And I was gonna call some people up and tell them, you know, get down to the gym, I'll only eat here. But then I said, "Nah, forget it." I said, "I'm not gonna call nobody. Whoever shows up, shows up." And we just let it happen naturally for 4 hours. He was the greatest entertainer in the world. He did magic for us, levitation tricks, and just he was great to have. I was always a Joe Frazier fan growing up. I didn't like him as a fighter and so forth, but he changed my mind that day. He was a great guy and a real gentleman with everybody.
It was a bit later on, wasn't it, when Ali came here? So he wasn't. But he still didn't half draw a crowd, didn't he?
Oh, well, Muhammad Ali doesn't come to England or Britain too often, so to come to Hyde in Manchester was something else, you know. And it was a shame to see. He was very poorly, you know, at the time, you know, and you know, they had him in his wheelchair, and he got up out of his wheelchair, and he said, "I'm not being pushed in Ricky Hatton's gym." And he walked in, and I thought, I was just happy he knew me. You know what I mean? He said, "Oh, well, I'm not being pushed in my gym. I'm going to walk in." And well, that's the man. It's the man he was, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how poor he was. You know, and he come to my gym because they asked me would I speak at his dinner at Old Trafford United Football Club, and I said. I went, "Absolutely, it'd be an honour." They went, "How much do you want?" I went, "What? To speak in front of Muhammad Ali?" I went, "Nothing." So they said, "We'd like to do something for you. We believe you've only just opened the gym, have you?" I said, "Yeah, it's been open about a week." "Well, have you done a grand opening yet?" I went, "Not really." I said, "Well, Muhammad will come and do it." And I thought, wow, Muhammad Ali's coming up in my gym in Hyde, Manchester. So it was a proud day, not just for me, having, you know, met the man for the first time. I think it was proud for my hometown to have the great man come here, you know.
There's lots of similarities between you two, obviously fighters and now trainers, and you've got your own gyms, and Ricky gets, you know, the hoi polloi of the boxing world from the UK in here all the time. The door's always constantly, people are coming in, and you get all that.
Yeah,
You get the same,
whenever
obviously,
there's
in
a
the
fight in
wild card.
Manchester, I feel proud that they want to come and use my gym, you know. So it's, we've had some big names come want to use the gym, and it's makes me feel very proud.
As well as the fighters you have. I mean, at the moment, correct me if I'm wrong now, Freddie, but obviously you've got Cotto, Pacquiao, Scott, of course, we're very familiar with, and your gym is always rammed and busy, and you've got the celebrity A-listers that are always in there as well. I mean, who's there on a day-to-day basis?
You know, Mickey Rourke trains quite a bit. He
How old's Mickey now? Is he still training?
don't tell the commission that he's 63. He's trying to get a license.
Oh, wow.
But he wants to fight again. And, you know, he comes all the time. And we have quite a few guys come through there, you know. Mario Lopez is one of the better fighters actually as an actor. He actually can fight a little bit. And then Wahlberg comes in, and you guys should do like a celebrity thing together, run a fundraiser for something, because a lot of people would be interested. I think that would go one pay-per-view in America. And we really the two best actors in the boxing world, you know. And they both can fight a little bit. And he has his own gym. He has a lot more money than me, so he has a bigger gym than I do.
Your paths crossed, obviously, with the Pacquiao fight, but you obviously must have been aware and moved around in each other's company before that as well.
Different fights here, there, and everywhere. And I remember I went to the wild card. First time I went to the wild card, my brother Matthew boxed Canelo, and Freddy was training Amir for Paul McCluskey. And we went to the wildcard gym and doing a bit of training, you know, and he was in the ring, Freddie was in the ring with Amir, and he just come up to me talking, he said, oh, what do you think you should do here with this fight? And I said, oh, maybe this, and Freddie was trying out of the pads, you know, I mean, asking me my opinion. I mean, you can put on a postage stamp what I know in comparison with Freddie, but I mean, that makes a good trainer when some trainers think they know it all, and some, you know, but some trainers that still aren't scared of asking. I mean, I'll ask anyone, you know, if I can learn from it, you know, and do anything. And I just thought, you know, that's really asking my advice, you know, as if, you know, this man doesn't know. But I mean, that's just, you know, I think that's what being a good trainer is all about, you know, keeping your mind open and not being scared of someone's a little bit of input, you know. That's why he's the man he is.
You obviously trained Pacquiao, as you still do, and we know what happened with the fight and everything, but would you have liked to train Ricky? And if you had done, what would you have done?
You know, training a guy like him would be like my dream come true, because I love people who have work ethic and work really hard, and you know, and give it all. And he's my type of fighter. You know, Pacquiao's more of a boxer and so forth. But I didn't make the mistake of trying to make everyone like me, though, because that didn't go so well.
That's what I try and do as a trainer. You know, I used to. You know, it's very important. You know, some people. You know, I have a lad. You know, he's a super middleweight. He's 6'5". You know what I mean? So I've got to where I'm going to be. I can't have him slipping and rolling and, you know, and body punching all that stuff. You've got body punch whatever style you are to a degree, but you know, you've got to look at the training, right? Because we're all built different shapes, size, weight, style, height, reach, and what might work for him won't work for him. You've got to try, as a trainer, I think, try and I've learned a lot from different trainers and different gyms that I've gone in. I'll always try and nick something. I'm not, you know, so a lot of trainers out there think they know it all, and I think, you know, you've always got to be learning, no matter how long you've been in the game, you know, and that's me as a young rugby trainer a little bit, you know, I like to pick trainers' brains such as Freddy, you know, I think that's what he saw.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger came up to me one day. He said, "You're kind of lucky." I said, "Why?" He said, "You're a pretty good fighter, but you're a good trainer." He said, "Most guys, pretty good fighters, aren't good trainers." He says, and it's very true, though. I mean, some guys, they want everyone to be like them. And the thing is, there's a lot of fighters out there that it just comes natural to, you know, like James Toney and Chavez, you know, Senior, and I mean, just they were born to fight, like him.
You
you're
just
born
hit
to
on a
fight.
point though as well, though, because
And the thing is, that not everybody's born to fight, so you got to teach people. And the thing is, some people pick up slowly and learn at different paces and so forth, and some pick up quickly, you know. And the thing is, but you can't get discouraged about that, and you just got to keep working and working on what they do best, and then improve around those areas, and it works really well.
well, this fella here, and we've chatted before. I mean, as a world champion, you've trained a world champion. I mean,
That
it's
doesn't
very
happen
unique, isn't it?
It's very unique. It is very unique. I mean, the thing is, I was just more of a club fighter, and so I was right at that level where I could learn, and I had a really good coach with Mr. Fudge. He was really a good guy and taught me well, and he had good, very good fundamentals and teaching me about the game, And some guys I can teach you a roll and come back with an uppercut and so forth, and shots like that. But some guys just aren't made for that, And you've got to find what they do best at and what's their niches and why they'll do well in the division. So it works out really well. And I get a couple of young prospects coming up, and I'm looking forward to seeing them moving. I just had a boy from Olympian from Lithuania, and he won his first pro fight the other night. And I'm really excited about this kid. He's a very good prospect. He has 100 or 300 amateur fights. But the thing is, I worry about that sometimes, maybe too much. He's quite a good prospect, and right now he's maybe my next Manny Pacquiao, at least.
So the enthusiasm is certainly still there, and I think that's obviously the key. Is that one of the bits of advice you pass on to Ricky here? Who's obviously been training a few years now, but you've been in it and you've trained whether all with Tyson, De La Hoya, Hopkins, Pacquiao, Cotto now, the next unified featherweight champion of the world in the ring there warming up. Is that the plan?
Yeah, pretty much it is. And the thing is, it's just like it's part of the game and so forth. So we just keep working at what we do and do what we do best, and work hard. And that's why I can see he's doing it at this beautiful gym, and you have a great gym. I'm gonna have one like this someday.
It's tough, this whole business though, isn't it, to keep that kind of level head about everything that goes on in and around and the disappointments and everything?
Yeah, I guess it can be, but I think boxers are very, very unique individuals. I mean, you either love boxing or you hate it. You know what I mean? The first time you get punched, you either go, whoa, that's not for me, or you do it, and if it's in your blood and it's in your passion, it's like a drug. It's a passion for you. You can't. The minute I started, I wanted to train and wanted to try and do a little bit of promoting. Bit by bit, I'm getting out of promoting because as a boxer, it's hard to go down that road when you're looking at it through a boxer's eyes. So
I've had a few offers as a promoter and I've declined. It's just I know fighters and I know the sport and so forth, and I think I could be a good matchmaker, but a promoter, too many obstacles that get in the way.
Well, you've retained the enthusiasm. Ricky's obviously very enthusiastic about training now. And how hard is that, though, with all the politics? I mean, how do you do that?
I mean, one thing about it, I don't have a job. I do what I love. And the thing is, I spend 12 hours a day in the gym, 6 days a week. And someone said, well, how can you do that? Like, don't you get bored? Don't you get it? I said, how can I get bored? I said, I'm developing these fighters and trying to teach them and get them to be at their best and so forth. I love what I do, and I'm sure Ricky does also, and that's why we're here. I mean, that's why we're stuck in boxing gyms. It's okay. 12 hours a day to me in the gym is okay. I mean, I don't live in the gym anymore, but I sleep somewhere else, but my home is the gym now.
that's why you used to live in the gym, didn't you? That's a little bit too keen for my liking, but
When the bell would wake me up every morning, I have to walk down one set of steps and up the other. It's really nice, no driving.
Wouldn't be for you then, no?
what? No, really, no. I only live, 5 minutes down the road, so that's not too bad. But it's 12 hours a day. People say how you do it. You get bored. You get bored if you never had it. That's unfortunately the way boxers are, isn't it? It's a passion for you. And I struggled so hard when I had to wrap the gloves up. I made a comeback, a short comeback, just to see if I still had it. And it was a good comeback in the sense I didn't get beat up. You know, I was winning and I got caught with a body shot in the last round. But it's one thing, it enabled me to move on with my life because, you know, I don't have to lie on the settee anymore, you know, from the sofa thinking to myself, have I still got it, have I still got it? That told me I hadn't. And I could move on to being the best trainer I can try and be that, you know, so it was a very successful comeback from that. And there was not many comebacks that are successful, but I consider mine, even in defeat, was successful.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, boxing, you know, it's hard to give up. It's hard to retire. It's, I told my trainer wanted me to retire, and I said, well, you're like 90 years old. Why don't you retire? You know, and I was just a little mad that day. And because I put everything into this, and I didn't get much out of it. So I fought 5 more times. I lost 4 of the 5 times, so he was right. So then I went to him and said, "Okay, you can have a job. Yeah, I want to work for you. I want to be your assistant." And all I started doing was being like a bad penny and showed up every day. And it's just my commitment was that. And you know, the thing is, and then. Virgil Hill and Rose, one of my first 2 world champions. They wanted to split from that and go on my own, and that was a very difficult position.
He beat Manchester's Pat Barrett, didn't he?
And they were like, you know, it's funny because I had fought with Marlon in the amateurs, and in Virgil, I was. My last year pro was his first year pro, and he was a little bit afraid of me because he wouldn't even talk to me because I was a veteran and so forth. Me, some young kid coming up and getting all the attention, you know. But then we fit in pretty well, and Virgil and Marlon were my first champions, and then.
Was it Marlon Starlin who fought Lloyd Hunnigan, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Lloyd Hunnigan,
that was one of his greatest fights ever. Because you know, I remember Lloyd had spit on him once before. And earlier in some scuffle, you know, it's all about selling the fight and so forth. It's nothing personal, but like people do, they will take it personally. But the thing is, you know, we understand that we're in the game. You know, we're just like. Sometimes I'll talk, yes, but it's just like, I'm just making the fight, I'm just selling tickets, and making this interesting, and I do believe in my people. I believe in my fighters, and I would never go into a fight that I didn't think my guy has a chance of winning, and you know, that's one of my laws. I would never go in thinking, oh, you know, we might get lucky. There's no such thing. You know? So, but you know, boxing is a great game, and it's tough to give up. You know, Miguel told me that this is the last year, so we got 2 fights booked, I think, before the end of the year, and that'll be it for him. He's been pro 17 years, and you know, and I told him, I said, you know what, it's going to be harder than you think. But I think he's at his family and so forth, and he wants to spend more time with his kids and more quality time, and he's making, I think, a very, very good decision. And
he's got much more he can do, really.
I
think he got even better as he went up in weight, which, you know, he's
not
very tall.
Someone asked me how I made him smile. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "He never smiled before." I said, I let him eat. I put him in a weight division that he can have breakfast before the weigh-in. So it worked out well.
You push.
No, I'm just thinking of that. Freddie and Scott.
Yeah, well, it's just a final couple, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're here with Scott in the UK now. Just firstly, before we get to Scott's fight and everything else, but UK boxing, everyone over here, we seem to be bragging about how great boxing is, the atmospheres at the stadiums, and Americans like Malinacci, who was over recently, who's saying this is the place to be. It isn't Vegas, this is the place to be, UK now. He's very much like that. I mean, where do you stand on that?
Yeah, the UK is great boxing fans. I mean, I've seen it myself, you know, with Stevie Collins. We had a lot of great fights, and, you know, with Eubank and Ben and so forth. And, I mean, there's a thing is, I mean, you can have 2 big fights in the same week and sell tickets and so forth. And sometimes in America, we can't do that close together. We have to spread it out a little bit more and so forth. And the Spanish crowd is probably the biggest audience in boxing for America, at least. But right here, there's a lot of fans coming to this fight. I mean, it's going to be one of the biggest crowds ever, and you get, Joshua going up there against Klitschko. I used to train Klitschko. I had him for 7 wins, and I like Klitschko. We're friends, yes, but I think Joshua will win the fight. But it's not going to be an easy fight, though. I mean, there's nothing easy about this sport, and I'm really excited about being on the show. I mean, it's really going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun.
You would have done that on your own, were you? 90,000. You took 40,000 to Vegas.
Yeah, from Mayweather, well, about 35, and then I think about 15, 20 for Manny, 10 for Castillo, for Lascano, Manchester City, 60,000.
Yeah, I trained with Scott.
Yeah,
Tough kid.
yeah, he was a tough kid. Yeah. That was the first one after the Mayweather fight, and it was a big fight. I was just happy to get that one. The first one after the defeat, was happy to get that one out of the way and get my confidence back a bit. It's a tough one. Just the first one after Mayweather, 60,000. It wasn't eased back like. But I mean, no, good thing, and the fans. Fans was always my. People say, what was your best achievement? It wasn't beating him or him or him or him. It was the love that the fans had for me. It doesn't matter, your belts go when you retire, but the love from the fans I still have, and that's my proudest.